Earlier this week, the Wyandanch Warriors clinched their first ever trip to a Suffolk County A championship game. About an hour later, Southampton did the very same. The fans are excited. They're lined up here at Suffolk Community College for the Suffolk Boys A championship game featuring Wyandanch and Southampton. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Suffolk Community College. Matt Shortest, Dylan Butler on hand for the Suffolk County Boys A championship game between Wyandanch and Southampton. Dylan, I think two words best describe what we could see here tonight: up-tempo.
Oh, yeah. If you like high-scoring basketball, this is the game for you. These guys get up and down. Hey, regular season, they combined for 191 points in one game. I'm not sure we're going to see that tonight, but we will see two teams certainly going for it.
Kayshawn Charles had a fantastic semifinal game, upsetting Harborfield, the defending county champs. He had 32 points. He's Suffolk leading scorer, and he can hit it from anywhere on the floor.
He is so explosive, so much fun to watch. He's a guy who's averaging 30 points a game and just gets up and down the floor. He's got unlimited range. I think he can hit it from Nichols Road, and he's certainly a guy that, I don't know if you can contain him, I don't know if you can stop him, but he's a guy who will score his points.
Southampton, they give you a different look. 5 different players in double figures averaging on the season. Chad Pike, the senior, he's been around for a couple B championships trying to get their first A today.
Yeah, too, if you think about it, he's been part of back-to-back Long Island Class B championships, so he's got that winning pedigree. And yeah, I think it's certainly more of a shared responsibility, the offensive load, but Pike, with his experience, he's a guy who will certainly lead the way for them today.
One of these teams will win the first ever A title in school history. It'll be Wyandanch and Southampton coming your way next on News 12 Varsity.
Who will rise higher, dunk harder, and go farther? The playoffs are here. Tune to News 12 Varsity all postseason long.
Welcome back to Suffolk Community College, the Selden campus. Matt Shortest, Dylan Butler, and Tom Schnorrs with you as we get ready for the Suffolk County Boys A championship game. The Wyandanch Warriors at 16-6, coached by Barry L. Baker Jr. in his 5th season as head coach. A North Babylon graduate in 1999, played football at the University of Syracuse. And his starting lineup, it's Kayshawn Charles, Jamani Berry, Deontay Jordan, Corey Stewart, and Alan Evans. And Southampton, coached by Herm Lamison, a Southampton graduate, an 18-2 record this year. Timmy Aleo, Elijah Wingfield, Chad Pike, Micah Snowden, and Aaron Krasuski will start off. These two teams split during the regular season. It was Wyandanch winning the last meeting on January 19th, 67-64. December 20th, 100-91, Southampton winning. The Mariners in white, they move left to right to start. High post, deflected away, out of bounds. And Wyandanch will have it.
Amazingly, we've gone 16 seconds without a point.
Well, it was a bit of a slow start for Wyandanch against Harborfield the first minute or so, but they heated up in a hurry. 23 points, I believe, in that first quarter. Crossover from Charles. Charles push shot misses. Rebounded by Stewart, up with it and good.
Yeah, nice job by Stewart. Good positioning after the lefty miss.
3 by Krasuski to respond.
I was just kidding about not scoring in a few seconds.
Again, Southampton has incredible balance. Nobody manning the middle, and Evans goes right to the basket. Evans, a first-year player. He's so versatile at 5'11". He'll play down low at times. Saw him in the high post there. Here's Wingfield. Spots up from college 3. Back-to-back threes for Southampton to start.
It's a great look, too. Fantastic job just knocking down that tray.
Jamani Berry will put it on the floor, kick it back out for Jordan. The sophomore lights up a 3 and connects. Well, we told you it could be high scoring. We've had 13 points in the first minute 40. Here's Aleo putting it on the floor. Aleo up and under, kicks it back out. Pike will try a 3 from the near side corner, in and out. Rebounded by Jordan of Wyandanch, and the Warriors off and running. Jordan across the lane, a righty flip up and in by Stewart. Here's Wingfield splitting the defense. Euro step to the cup and one.
Wow.
The gym is packed. It's warm in here because of how many bodies we have and the unseasonably warm temperatures outside, and both teams are feeding off the energy early on.
If this is a precursor to what we're gonna have, buckle up.
Wingfield missing on the free throw. Wyandanch has got it, nearly poked away, recovered by Stewart. Stewart over the timeline, hesitates, he's fouled at the top of the key by Chad Pike.
Southampton foul number 3, Chad Pike, his first team foul.
So inbound from the near side. And that last meeting on January 19th, Keishawn Charles had 37 points. Davion Walker had another 16. Southampton had 4 players in double figures. The big difference for Wyandanch in that game is they did not have the sophomore Deontay Jordan, who's come up in over 4 games on the varsity level, averaged 13 points a contest. Jordan thought about a 3, gives it back to Berry on the right side. Berry lowers the shoulder, short on the shot. It's rebounded by Krasuski. There's Elijah Wingfield, now Krasuski with it. Top of the key, Krasuski will pull up for 3. Short on the shot, boarded by Aleo. Nice little mid-range touch for Timmy Aleo. Southampton back on top as the lead continues to exchange hands, 3 minutes in. Here's Charles, nice dish inside. Kick back out, Charles has it at the free throw line, pushes it from about 10 feet. Fight for the board, and it's pulled down by Chad Pike of Southampton. There's Aleo to the baseline, no good. Tipped up, battle for it, out of bounds. Who touched it last? Southampton.
Tough start early for Charles. He's missed with both hands that little runner in the lane. First the lefty and then the right.
I mean, that shows you the kind of scorer he is, that he's not afraid to try that little push shot with both hands. Charles had a little tough trouble handling it, but Chad Pike was last to touch it. Officiating crew today, James Howard, John Kelly, and Scott Santelli. There's point guard Jamani Berry outside. Jordan another 3 off the back rim. It's rebounded by Evans, who goes back up with it and puts it in. 1 point lead for Wyandanch at 11-10, 3.5 minutes in. Krasuski stripped as he went up with it. It's Corey Stewart out ahead for Charles. Charles tried to settle his feet, but shuffled them as he set up for his shot.
Yeah, he did such a great job defensively, too, to make that steal and kind of thought ahead about what he wanted to do and looked for the shot a little too quick there.
Wingfield gives it off to Snowden. Snowden off the window and in on the layup. Snowden, rookie of the league last year, or rookie of the year in the league, poked away by Pike. Pike will slow it down a moment. Pike off to Aleo. Aleo, a 3-pointer from the left side, in and out, nearly went down. Here's Evans, nearly had his pocket picked. Charles with it. Charles to the basket, had to alter his body, gets it back, but he's on the baseline when he grabbed it.
You could see that he wants to score so badly, but I think he's just got to, and this is a great timeout by Wyandanch, he's just got to calm himself down a little bit. I think it's not so much nerves as it is just that energy that you want to succeed so much. And he's just like a little bit tight right now on the ball. So I think this is a great timeout by Baker just to calm his guys down and to everybody take a breath. We're in this game. Everything's going to be fine.
Barry L. Baker Jr., I talked to him earlier today about the Harborfields game, and I was asking, were you surprised by how quickly your team came out? Because, to your point, it was sort of the opposite of how it is now for Charles. Charles took his first shot, from 3. He was fouled, and he made the shot
Yeah.
and hit the free throw as well. And he said, I knew they were hungry and anxious, but it doesn't always work out like that. He said, you plan for that, but you don't count on it. So he was, I said, were you surprised by that? And he said, yeah, yeah, I was. By how efficient they were. So Charles maybe putting a little too much pressure on himself in the early going. Still looking for his first points. His team down by 1. As Southampton has the 12-11 lead, 3.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Krzyzewski into the post for Snowden. Back to baskets for Micah Snowden.
That was great positioning by Snowden, too, just to get under the basket. Little reverse layup.
Jordan, the sophomore, gets it back, splits the defense, tries to kick it down low, deflected out of bounds by Southampton. Wyandanch scored 93 points in the semifinal win over Harborfields, and it's Stewart who lost the handle. Turned it over to Krzyzewski. Krzyzewski, nowhere to go with it, pulls up from the elbow. Offensive rebound, Aleo back up with it, and he'll go to the free throw line.
How great has Alejo and Snowden been inside so far for Southampton? Good size and a nice bounce in his step as well.
You add Krzyzewski into that, a 6'4", is their tallest player, but he can step outside as well. Aleo coming off a game in which he had 11 against Bayport Blue Point. Southampton had a slow start. They were 3 minutes in, and they only had 2 points in that game, but they got going in a hurry, and after that, didn't really look back. Well, the senior Andre Franklin coming in, and that gets the crowd all riled up on the far side across the court from us.
As if they weren't riled up enough in this gym.
5-point advantage after 6 straight for Southampton. Barry L. Baker Jr. calling on a play from the sideline. Right side, Charles for 3, no good. Jordan's got the rebound though. Deontay Jordan on the bounce pass inside to Barry. Good ball movement down low, not able to finish. And the second chance there for Stewart, who's got 6 early points.
Yeah, and all 6 of those points around the rim on putbacks as well.
Troy Stewart averages a shade under 13 a contest. Here's Pike on the perimeter. Down low, the soft touch for Franklin. First touch of the game. Two minutes left in the first quarter, a 5-point lead for Southampton. Here's Kayshawn Charles. This is Jordan, give off to the left side. Underneath, a lot of contact, no call, but an offensive board, back up with it. And there's Evans. So the guys down low doing the dirty work and getting the points as well. Stewart and Evans each with 6 apiece. There's Krzyzewski up top, shuffled his feet.
And I think if you're Charles now, I think what you'll need to do is get yourself to the free throw line. Drive to the basket. Try to get your points that way.
You know, one thing that he could take solace in is a 3-point game. It's not like his team is struggling with him struggling as well. Outside, Charles will try another one. This time it's short. Battle for it, and it's Pike the rebound. Pike, as Charles trying to atone for the missed shot, doubled down on it and committed the foul.
Yeah, I don't have the official numbers, but I think he's 0 for 5 right now from the field. He missed those 2 gimmies.
Yep.
I think 3 threes now.
Three-point game as we close in on the final minute of play in the first half. Krzyzewski met by a defender right inside. Charles the rebound off the missed shot. Wings it down the court. Stewart to the right side. Blocked as he went up for the basket by Wingfield. Andre Franklin running the floor. Here's Snowden, he'll try a three and connects. The lead back to 6 for Southampton.
Southampton's spacing was so terrific on that trip up the court.
There's Charles from way downtown, finally on the board.
Hey, shooter's got to shoot, and that's what he did there from way downtown.
Shot clock is off, another three to answer for Southampton, that won't go. And a rebound for Corey Stewart, who was fouled on a loose ball. Well, Charles popped a couple of those on Tuesday against Harborfield. And you see there why he's got some Division II offers among them. Adelphi, who's got a great local Division II program. Potsdam. Stewart, Berry nearly lost it.
Gotta
Final
shoot.
seconds, top of the key. That one way off the mark by Alan Evans. And we thought it would be a high-scoring affair, and that was exactly the case in the first quarter. Back and forth we go. 21-18, Southampton leads after one.
On March 12th, starting at 11 a.m., watch the best of Long Island high school basketball battle for the right to be called champions. Live on Channel 14. This doubleheader begins at 11 a.m. with the Class A Finals, followed by the Class AA Finals at 1:30 p.m. Watch the best of Long Island high school basketball live on the big screen on Optimum Channel, Channel 14.
Welcome back to Suffolk Community College in Selden, 21-18. Southampton leading Wyandanch. Matt Short, Dylan Butler, and Tom Schnorrs with you. It's Wyandanch in black, Corey Stewart. Now it's Charles who got fouled beyond the arc, and Charles looked like he might have hit his head on the way down.
He did go down hard. It looked too, and maybe he was holding his arm. That's the last thing Wyandanch wants to see. And you saw the same thing, as you said, right? Last game, first possession for Wyandanch, three and he gets hit.
I never have seen a game last Tuesday where Wyandanch won. They were fouled on three-pointers 5 times. Never seen that many times, and most of them were Charles and Johnson. And Charles is going to come off the floor for a moment. And it looks like he's trying to say to Coach, Coach, I got free throws to take. And just because of the nature of where the injury occurred, they might make him go out.
And they said, the officials explaining that he does have to sit down, at least for the free throws.
So Davian Walker is going to check in. And now it's interesting who will take the 3 free throws.
Well, that's what he's going to go do.
So it is Walker, who off the bench averages 12 points a contest. So welcome to the game, Davian Walker. Suffolk County Championship game. Come in right off the bench, take a couple of free throws. Why not? And where our broadcast location is situated, right next to the Wyandanch bench, Barry Baker saying to Charles, don't worry about it, it's going to come. And Charles looking like he's ready to check back in any moment. Two or three for Walker. And it's a 1-point game. And on cue, Charles heads to the scorer's table to check back in. Franklin, good ball denial by Wyandanch to knock it away. Alan Evans with the deflection in the seal. Jamani Perry, some fancy footwork out on the left side. 3 for Jordan, cans it. Deontay Jordan's second long-range field goal. He's got 6.
And you see Wyandanch in the zone.
Wingfield to answer, he does. 24-23, Southampton with the advantage. There's Walker in the right side corner for Jordan. Jordan, bounce pass, good ball movement. Wyandanch knocked away for the moment. Evans doesn't know where it is, onto the floor, bodies flying. Wyandanch trying to call a timeout. A jump ball is the official rule, and Southampton has the arrow.
Funny thing there is that Charles knew he was coming in the game. He wasn't sure who was coming in for, so had to get that situated.
Turns out to be for the point guard, Jamani Berry. 24-23, the advantage for Southampton. Minute and change into the second quarter. There's Franklin.
Interesting look defensively here for Wyandanch. A little too aggressive.
Tough foul to take for Davian Walker because the ball had been deflected, so he was trying to make a play on the ball. Elijah Wingfield now into the corner for Franklin. Franklin lost the ball. Ahead for Charles, 2-on-1 for Wyandanch. Charles, big steps to the basket. One-point advantage for Wyandanch, 2 minutes into the second quarter. Now the defensive chance from the Wyandanch fans coming alive. There's Aleo, long two, no good. Aleo getting his own rebound, back up with it, and he's fouled. And Timmy Aleo, third-year player, and as the case with these upperclassmen for Southampton is they've been around in these type of games. They've had a lot of experience. Again, two-time defending Long Island champs. I guess not defending anymore, but reigning Long Island champs in the B.
Kind of an interesting situation too, right? Where the two teams that move up from the B, these two teams are meeting for the A championship in the same year.
Lamison was telling us earlier today that by a student, the cutoff is 480 and they have 480 enrolled. Jordan, awkward looking shot, but an alley-oop. He saw Walker on the baseline sneaking up and getting it. Well, that got the crowd on their feet. The steal wide open to the front court is Stewart's. 9-3 so far in the quarter for Wyandanch to take their largest lead of the game.
And their fans right behind us getting loud and proud, and what a pass for that alley-oop.
Well, there's one thing Barry Baker was telling us about these two teams, about this game. He said we have to be patient. We'll both have leads. We'll both blow a lead at some point. The games are very up and down, and we need to stay level-headed, and that really is the case for both teams, and we've already seen it. Leads haven't been huge, but it seems like the 4-point leads, people are going crazy and wild over, partially because of what's at stake, but just the runs that both these teams are capable of going on also.
And there was such a great anticipation for this game because of what we saw during the regular season, 100-91. The first matchup between these two teams.
I mean, when you consider that in
December.
32 minutes of basketball.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say early in the season, like
yes,
when you're still learning your sets and getting used to your teammates.
That too.
So Wyandanch one away from putting Southampton on the line for the bonus.
Bounced underneath for Snowden. 9 points in the early going for Micah Snowden. 5 minutes left in the first half, 29-26 Wyandanch. Here's Jordan from the free throw line. Nearly an offensive rebound, but Wingfield's got it for Southampton. Wingfield to Aleo. Aleo poked away by Charles. Keyshawn Charles ahead to Walker. Walker thought he got fouled and fell awkwardly.
I mean, there was absolutely contact.
Play continues. Walker hustles down the court, blocked by Charles, out of bounds to Southampton. And Barry L. Baker is hot right now. Wondering why there was no foul called there.
Yeah, you can't blame him. I mean, look, his guy goes up, he's vulnerable. There was contact and he hits the floor hard. To me, that's just about the definition of a foul. Officials asking for a reset of the shot clock. And a bit of a conversation as
they will reset the shot clock.
But how about Charles getting it done on the defensive side of the ball? That's leadership.
He has turned up the defensive intensity on these last couple Southampton possessions. Snowden inside. And that's been their bread and butter in this game so far. Wyandanch hasn't had much of an answer for the interior game of Southampton. Jordan in the near side corner. 6 points today off 2 threes. He's going to turn and spot up for another one. Short on the shot, rebounded by Wingfield of Southampton. He's been in the right spot, a tremendous rebounding guard so far.
Might have got away with a push in the back.
Aleo up top for Pike, straightaway three. Well off the mark, and he hears about it too.
I'll tell you what though, Southampton, you said it perfectly. I think their success has come when they get the ball into the low blocks. Before that, they are struggling because Wyandanch is so active with their hands defensively.
There's Jordan, he'll feed it up for Charles. Step back three, it's good. Well, he struggled in the first quarter to get it going, but he's got 8 points since, and he gives his team a 6-point advantage. Right side three to answer for Krzyzewski.
It's like a game of horse out here.
Well, threes have been falling. How about Charles again? Are you kidding me? To answer down the other end, Aleo's shot is blocked.
Yeah, Charles got a piece. Feed him.
Stewart to the rack, no good. Krzyzewski's got it for Southampton. Here's Krzyzewski, no look pass on the baseline, another block, this time by Evans. Here's Jordan driving on the baseline, tries to feed it out to Charles, but it happened to hit the baseline, out of bounds.
Wow. I mean, those three possessions, I mean, you feel like you were up at like Rucker Park for a second. Just going mano a mano.
Trying to catch my breath after those three.
For real. We need a media timeout.
There's Charles again, another steal around the defender. Lefty scoop shot is good. Keyshawn Charles is up to 13 now. Free throw line jumper rattles in for Wingfield. Wingfield's up to 10. Closing in on the 2-minute mark, 39-33. Lobbed it up for Charles, catch and shoot, why not? In and out, rebounded by Evans. Evans back up with a little too strong. Krzyzewski's got it for Southampton. Up ahead for Aleo. Aleo left side, Pike will try a three. That one looked like it might have got deflected. Battle for it, tried to save it, into Jordan. 3-on-1 for Wyandanch, up with it for Charles.
Another finish for Charles, this one around the basket. 41-33 now for Wyandanch.
Largest lead of the game for the Warriors. Krzyzewski again, another three. This one nowhere near the net. And Wyandanch is feeling their oats right now, no question.
And that confidence, I really believe that it started on the defensive side of the ball. And then, of course, the most electrifying player on Long Island did his thing on the offensive side. He's got the ball now.
And Kayshawn Charles with 15 points. 12 of them coming in this quarter.
And don't think that he's not within his range right now.
Sure thing. A little short on that one. Southampton content to let him shoot from there as well.
See, again, you see where Southampton is having trouble is out at the top of the perimeter. That time a little too aggressive on the pass. But it's the guards of Wyandanch that are really causing havoc defensively.
And Southampton has looked out of sync the last several trips down the floor.
But when they get it low, that's where they found the success.
Well, no Snowden in the game. He was their big low post threat offensively. Slowest we've seen Wyandanch all game. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Right side, Walker will step into a three. Off the back heel, shot clock is off. Pike's got about 10 seconds. Pike lobs it ahead, deflected by Walker out of bounds. And Southampton will have it for the final 5.4 seconds in the first half. Swing it around, Franklin. Right side, Pike will try a three off the heel, no good. And that is how the first half will end. Wyandanch found themselves trailing by 3 after 1, and they turned it up on both sides of the floor. And they're leading by 8 at halftime.
On March 11th, starting at 5 p.m., watch the best of New Jersey high school basketball battle for the right to be called champions, live on Channel 14.
At the buzzer, good!
This doubleheader begins at 5 p.m. with the non-public B finals, followed by the non-public A finals at 7 p.m. Watch the best of New Jersey high school basketball live on the big screen on Optimum Channel, Channel 14.
Back at Suffolk Community College, Matt Shortest, Dylan Butler, and Tom Schnars with you. Halftime score 41-33. Wyandanch ahead of Southampton. Kayshawn Charles leading the way with 15 points for Wyandanch. Micah Snowden 11, Elijah Wingfield with 10 for Southampton. And I don't know what to make of this, Dylan. But Kayshawn, you had the live stream of the other game we have on News 12 Varsity tonight, the Brooklyn Queens Diocesan Championship between Malloy and Bishop Laughlin. He said, who's playing at Christ the King? And you told him, he's like, oh, okay, cool, keep me updated.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever had that happen to me courtside. I mean, I've had guys come up to me and say, hey, how many points did you have in the first half?
Yeah.
And you calculate it, you give them the points. I've never had someone know what gym it was as his shot goes off the back iron, and then ask who was playing there, and ask him to keep him updated. I'm not sure how we could do that unless we tell like the PA guy.
Could do that. Tell you how calm he is, though. That gives you a good indication on to what's going on.
He could have been coming out after a water break for practice.
Yeah. Right side, three for Leo, in and out. Rebound by Krasuski, the friendly kiss. And Krasuski's up to 8. Back to the action here again. Wyandanch and Southampton both moving up in Suffolk County A this year due to enrollment. And Charles shuffled the feet a little bit.
And I think Santa Mariches and maybe even Oyster Bay, who won the Nassau Championship, not too upset that Southampton has moved up in class.
Now, when you see what both these programs have done this year and the talent that's on both sides. Here's Wingfield, blows by the defender. Back-to-back baskets for Southampton to start the third quarter.
Yeah, unofficially, I have him for 13 now.
Throw it out to Pike up top. Krasuski for 3. No good. Rebounded by Jordan, and Jordan able to keep it in. Deontay Jordan behind the back pass, little razzle-dazzle, push shot won't go. Offensive rebound for Wyandanch. Charles double flashes out to him as Wingfield picks him up. Inside, tough shot won't go for Walker. Lead pass ahead for Pike again. Pike thought about the three, comes back on the perimeter. No look pass, Krasuski up top for Aleo, who's fouled.
Yeah, Leo, one of the guys around the basket, so difficult to contain for the Mariners.
So Tim Aleo to the line, all league this year, all conference performer as well. Mid-range and outside shooter. And this is exactly the way that Southampton wanted to come out to start this third quarter. They've scored 6 straight. And almost 2 minutes of play have held Wyandanch off the scoreboard.
And that's a feat unto itself.
Corey Stewart holding up top, picks up the dribble. Gives it to Charles, who turns around, uncorks a three, and tickles the twine. Down low, they go to Snowden. Kick it back out for Wingfield to answer. 16 for Elijah Wingfield. Timeout, Southampton. The Mariners have cut it to just a 2-point game. We talked about the move to Class A for both teams. And Herman Lamison saying the competition's a lot tougher. He says across Suffolk County that he feels they play in the toughest league in Suffolk County. And when you look at some of the teams, 5 of the 8 teams in Suffolk League 6 made the playoffs. Southampton, Wyandanch, Bayport Blue Point, who was the other semifinalist outside of Harborfield, Glen and Mount Sinai. It's tough to argue.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think when you look at the start of the season and throughout the year, because of the year they had, a lot of people were actually talking, and I, myself included, talking about Harborfields as that team to beat, of course, off of last year's championship as well. But, hey, look, when you go to their place and you put up 90-plus points, as you did, you earn the respect and you get the win that you find yourself in the championship game deservedly.
It was the first home court loss for Harborfield since 2014. Charles drew some contact, looking for the foul. Won't get it, but still got the three. 21 for Kayshawn Charles. 47-42. Elijah Wingfield, he and Charles have gone back and forth in the quarter. Snowden inside is fouled. And if that's on Walker, that is his 3rd personal foul. That's going to be number 3 on Walker. Jamani Berry getting ready to check back in. And Snowden to the line for the first time today. Had 11 points in the first half for the sophomore.
And he scored most of his points around the basket, also stepped out and hit a 3.
I mean, you see he's a guy that they can really build around going forward. He and Wingfield are both returners next year, so that's a good thing for Herman Lamison. Wyandanch picking up the tempo, and Stewart finds himself underneath. He's in double figures. There's Wingfield. Right side for Pike. Chad Pike still looking for his first points of the game. Off the window and in for Snowden.
What a strong post move.
As you said, they did not have much response for Snowden down low throughout the first half. Maurice Miller has checked in. Charles again. Boy, when he is in a rhythm, there's no stopping him. He's got 24 in the game.
And we're only midway through the third quarter.
There's Pike. Whistle away from the ball, I believe.
I mean, he could go for 40 plus. And probably his first question post-game is what happened in the Brooklyn Queens game.
His question to us.
Yeah.
Well, depending on the outcome, I would say. Inside to Snowden. If they're on the wrong end of it, he might care less. Turned over. Here's Pike with numbers trailing him. Pike behind to Franklin. Franklin's shot won't go. Pike is there. He's blocked and fouled. Jamani Berry picked up the personal, and it's the 4th foul against Wyandanch compared to 0 for Southampton.
Which is why you're hearing that noise behind us.
So Chad Pike coming off an 11-point performance against Bayport Blue Point, missing his first free throw. His brother Chris, also a Southampton graduate. Chris Pike was drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays after his senior year, now in High A at the Charlotte Stone Crabs. Remember the Stone Crabs organization.
You think they get some of that post-game?
What's that?
Stone Crabs, you think they get it? Like in their post-game meal? Or?
Yeah, maybe. A bucket of them.
Yeah.
Flip it up underneath. Won't go. Franklin ahead of the charge. Franklin will pull up for 3. Boy, that was smooth sailing for Franklin. 1-point game, 52-51. Jordan pull up for the free throw line. Off the mark. Pike saved it from going out of bounds. Gets it back to Jordan. Southampton wanting a walk. Jordan pushes it in. Snowden. 18 for Micah Snowden.
You know what's funny? He's not necessarily the biggest guy. It's just his positioning in the low post is fantastic.
Jordan won't go. Pike's got it. Pike bounce pass ahead for Snowden. He's got to wait for the ball to catch up to him. Lost it on a bobble, and they say it was off of Charles.
And Snowden had his hands in it, or his head in his hands. Timeout, Wyandanch.
Looked like he tweaked something. And Wyandanch trying to change something up. They went to Maurice Miller, the 6'4 senior. He's not had much luck handling Micah Snowden, who's now up to 18 today. Snowden still grimacing around. Herm Lamison said that they always get good crowds. Said that they were playing Marlborough up in Marlborough, and they were like 10 minutes away, and they still traveled a good crowd. And the kids feed off that. They brought a ton of people again in the semifinals, and again today. This gym is packed end to end on both sides.
And we saw that, you know, they arrived, and again, they had the BCD game before this between Santa Mauritius and Bridgehampton, and you could see the crowd in the hallway. They weren't allowed in yet. They had to wait for the other game to end, but that hallway on that baseline that Tom is showing you right now, that was absolutely packed.
1-point game with 2:42 to play in the third. Underneath, Krasuski blocked, got it back, blocked again, and a foul the second time.
It's hard when you're blocking from behind, because inevitably you see the foul call was a push. That is going to happen. There will be that contact. because you're pushing yourself forward trying to get the block.
And you don't have the positioning. You don't have the correct positioning. You might get it once, but if you're continually battling from the outside position, it's going to be tough. Krzyzewski netting his 10th point. And Southampton has climbed back from an 8-point halftime deficit to take a lead in this third quarter.
Yeah, their last lead, you have to go back to the early portion of the second quarter at 24-23.
There's Deontay Jordan. Jamani Berry will try a three, way strong. Well, Barry Baker, he characterized it pretty nicely. He said both teams would have leads. Both teams would come back. And it's been that so far. Up and under. How about Franklin with a burst of quickness? 6 straight for Southampton. Offensive foul is going to be called against Maurice Miller. And that's a big foul because the next foul will put Southampton in the bonus.
Yeah. You don't normally see a team be on the verge of a bonus with a 0 on the other side for fouls, but that's where we are right now with 1:36 left in this third quarter.
Wingfield crossover, set up Franklin around the arc. Franklin's got 10 in the game now.
Yeah, how great has he been off the bench?
Jordan is fouled. Well, Wyandanch had this issue in the second quarter against Harborfields, where they were picking up fouls left and right. They've been better in this game. Jordan throws it into Stewart. Gets it back, tough rainbow type three, no good. Rebounded by Snowden. Snowden will push ahead. Pike with a man to his right. Pike veers to his left.
Smart
back
move.
up top, Krzyzewski, elbow jumper. Took a couple of bounces, but fell in. 11-0 Southampton run right now. This is the largest lead of the game for Southampton. They led by 6 earlier in the contest, 21-15 in the first quarter, and that was when Wyandanch started to get it going. And they're in the midst of an 11-0 spurt at the moment.
Yeah, and 1:01 left in this third quarter. And what you've noticed, I think, during this whole spurt, and even before that, obviously 11-0, Wyandanch isn't scoring the ball, but Charles hasn't really gotten touches during this whole stretch. So I think maybe that's part of the conversation on the Wyandanch bench. We need to get our guy back heated up. I mean, he hit his last 3 with 4:28 left in this third quarter. So that's 3 minutes of him not only not scoring, but really not getting a touch.
And Southampton working their blueprint. Wingfield with 16, Snowden 18, Franklin 10, and Krzyzewski 12. So those double figures just get a lot of guys involved. That's what they do best. Ball deflected out of bounds as right out of the timeout they were looking for Charles.
Yeah, and Wingfield chasing him around the court.
And Wingfield is really working on the ball denial. Krzyzewski intercepts. Krzyzewski to Pike. Right side it comes for Wingfield. Now Snowden trying to post up, kick back outside. Pike, head fake. Just takes a step inside. No, Charles has got it. Charles looks up, shot clock is off. Charles triple team. Into the paint for Evans. Offensive foul on Evans.
Tough call considering where Evans was, almost right underneath the basket. And this will give Southampton an opportunity to take the last shot of this third quarter.
Wyandanch showing some pressure. A lot of contact, no call. 11 seconds left. Charles lost it for a moment, tried to wing it inside. Out of bounds it goes off of Southampton.
Yeah, frenetic final few seconds here of this third.
7 seconds remain in the third quarter. Jordan to inbound on the near baseline. It's Walker, got it. Walker with two hands at his face, short on the shot, back up with it, and in. I believe that was Stewart down low. So Southampton puts a run together and they close out the third quarter on an 11-2 spurt and take a 6-point lead to the fourth quarter. It's the Suffolk County A Finals, fourth quarter coming up on News 12 Varsity.
Who will rise higher, dunk harder, and go farther? The playoffs are here. Tune to News 12 Varsity all postseason long.
Well, 8 minutes to go in regulation to determine a champion. 62-56, Southampton leading Wyandanch. A 29-point third quarter for Southampton. Underneath, Snowden blocked from behind by Allen Evans. A 5'11" Evans getting a swat there. Wingfield had the ball, and they're going to get Evans on a foul off ball, and that's foul number 4 on him, and the 8th team foul against Wyandanch. And Southampton will be shooting free throws with 7:43 left in the game.
Wyandanch number 12, Alex Lopez checks in. For Southampton, Micah Snowden, 1-1.
Alex Lopez checking in for the first time tonight. Snowden, the big man, hitting his free throws as well. Micah Snowden now up to 20 points on the evening. And lead back to 8, 64-56. There's Jordan fouled on the way to the basket.
And you get the sense, based on what we saw in that third quarter from Southampton, is they are fine with anybody else scoring the basketball but Charles.
Push shot for Stewart. Well, if it is going to be anybody else, it'll probably be him and Jordan having to shoulder that load, and Damian Walker to an extent as well. Franklin to the basket on the baseline. No. Snowden is there for the rebound. Snowden strip, recovered by Krasuski. Wings it out. Franklin on the left side. 3 is good.
Seems like every big basket Southampton needs, Franklin delivers.
That's a long 3 from Charles.
Here we go.
And Charles on the deck afterwards thought he got fouled. Inside to Snowden, who's tied up. No baskets. And that's on Oda Lopez.
27 now for Charles.
Snowden, 20 points tonight, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. A momentary stoppage as Elijah Wingfield ties his shoe. (69-61) Southampton, 6:45 to go. Deontay Jordan holds up top. Nice pass down low, finding a wide open Stewart. Pass nearly intercepted. It's Franklin underneath. And so the emotions, the anticipation just taking up another level here. Rough shot, Snowden trying to clear away the rebound. Wingfield, chest pass, kept alive. Pike for 3, way too strong, and a rebound by Wyandanch. Right side, Jordan all day to shoot. Too strong on the rebound. Jordan gets his own board, up with it, and he's fouled. That was another thing, Dylan, during that Southampton run, Wyandanch, who's normally a very good offensive rebounding team, were not getting second chances. 13th foul against Andre Franklin, or 3rd foul against Franklin. And it's also the 3rd against the team. Deontay Jordan again, who's come onto the scene of late. This is just his 5th career varsity game. Had 3 points in his first game, 2 in his second, and then 30 in his 3rd game and 23 last game. So how about that? Playoff time comes and he finds his groove. He's got 8 so far tonight for the 6-foot sophomore. One of 2. 7-point game. Pike in the corner. Pike now driving baseline, blocked. Pike to inbound, Snowden's got it. They're working around the perimeter, back it comes for Pike. Pike driving inside, tipped away as he was looking for Snowden. Wyandanch is on the break, out they come to Jordan down the left side of the lane. Five-point game, 71-66. Wingfield, now it's Pike again, down low to Snowden who is held. 3rd foul on Corey Stewart. And that means 2 shots now for Snowden, who's made a living at the line the last couple trips down. He's got 5 of 6 so far tonight.
And I think that miss was early, right? He's hit 4 straight.
And we talked about a Rookie of the Year in the league last year. He suggested really well and grown this season, an all-league performer. And we're talking about 2 sophomores here, and Jordan and Snowden. Right side, a little strong. Battle for the loose ball. Southampton had it a moment. Charles was fouled, almost got the 3. And that's the 4th foul against Andre Franklin.
And that was so tough because you know what it is, I think, with Charles too, is his release is so quick. So you're trying to anticipate, wait a minute, where is he? He's got the ball. And then as you recognize him, he's already up taking the shot.
First time to the line tonight. He was fouled earlier in the game, but he had hit his head, so he went out, and it was Davion Walker who took those free throws. Kayshawn Charles with 28 points. Again, Long Island's leading scorer with 30 per game. And sometimes you see the leading scorer on the island, they're a stat stuffer, but Charles has the ability to go with the numbers.
Yeah, and again, I'm impressed with his defense, too.
Cuts deficits of 4, 73-69. Wingfield, he's being D'd up by Charles. Those two have gone back and forth. Snowden, the featured player for Southampton in the second half, deflected. Pike comes over and fouls Jordan.
And that'll be the 6th team foul. That'll put, or the 5th it looks like. It'll put Wyandanch 2 fouls away from the bonus. That could be his range, too.
This might be the best spot for Charles to get the ball. Just put it in his hands and let him go to work. Double team coming over to Charles off a screen. They're trying to free him up. Pick and roll. Looks down low to a cutting Odell Lopez. Lopez can't handle the initial rebound. Out it comes to Franklin. Andre Franklin with the speed. Franklin to the basket. He's fouled and can't get the shot to go. Odell Lopez knocked him on the way to the hoop.
Franklin just accelerated to the basket. Comes up a little bit, with a bit of a limp. He'll take 2.
So Andre Franklin with 15 points for the 6th man of Southampton. Timeout by Wyandanch. Well, Barry L. Baker Jr. in his 5th season as Wyandanch head coach. You see him in the yellow shirt with the Darius Burton-esque towel over the shoulder. Graduated from North Babylon, class of 1999. When he was a player, he won 2 Suffolk County and Long Island championships. And as a player, senior year, who did they face in the county championship? Well, none other than Southampton. And Herm Lameson's, he doesn't look like it, but he's been at this for a while. Herm Lameson was the head coach of that team that Barry L. Baker Jr.'s North Babylon team beat in the Suffolk County Championship in 1999.
I'm not sure Herm wants to have that. I don't know if Barry told him that at some point. I'm not sure he wants to know that fact.
Lameson, 26 seasons as head coach of Southampton. He's the commanding officer of investigations in the Suffolk County Police Department. And the lead is 4. Franklin, 2nd free throw. That one used the whole cylinder and then some. Some pressure for Southampton. 4.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Suffolk County A championship. Kayshawn Charles, step back, fall away 3, no good. Odell Lopez there, the 2nd time won't go, and he's fouled the 3rd time.
I think Lopez was surprised at how open he was. He was so good at boxing out in that situation that as timeout for Southampton now.
The first meeting of the season, or the second meeting, which Wyandanch ended up winning, Southampton was up 18 points at halftime. And they came back and won, did Wyandanch. And for Herm Lameson, especially these last 4 and change, says it's got to be all about defense, especially when you're facing a team as potent as Wyandanch. The defensive intensity has to be there. And since halftime, when they trailed by 8, it has been. And give credit to Elijah Wingfield, who is shadowed and ball denied Kayshawn Charles, who I know has 30 points tonight, but 24 of those were in the first half.
Yeah.
So Odo Lopez to the line.
I'm not sure if Charles could hear me, but Malloy beat Lachlan 80-67. Cole Anthony, another guy who knows about scoring the basketball, 32 points.
Guys have come to play today, championship time. Snowden with 24 for Southampton. Charles with 30 for Wyandanch, and Odo Lopez misses a pair. Southampton, breakneck pace. Franklin for three, no good. Aleo, who was out of the game for a long time, got the rebound, put it up and in.
Southampton lead 76-69.
Lead back to 7 for Southampton. Moving inside, basket won't go, but Damian Walker will go to the free throw line.
Fouls on Michael Schroeder. His third personal.
Till all of a sudden, Wyandanch putting a lot more onus on getting the ball to the rim. Early on, it was the perimeter game of Charles and Jordan. And now they're slashing to the basket a lot more.
Yeah, but they're also missing some free throws, which could loom large down the stretch.
Walker with 6 points this evening. Now 2 of 4 from the charity stripe. And they've missed 4 straight. Walker got his own rebound and then he traveled.
So recently, really, it's only been Charles who has made some big free throws. Now they need to stop.
There's Leo. Doubled in the corner. Timeout, Southampton.
Timeout, Southampton.
Well, early on, when Southampton had the lead, Wyandanch was keyed by the defensive Kayshawn Charles. And you got to look for that perimeter defense once more, the ball denial into the paint, because it's been Micah Snowden making a living off of some pretty easy penetration passes and then being able to post up.
And again, I think he's been fantastic just by having the right positioning inside. He's not the tallest guy, doesn't have the biggest body, but he uses what he has really well inside.
So Herm Lamison talking it over. Again, they've been on this stage a lot, not at the A, but at Suffolk B. They won the last 2 Long Island championships. Trying to get back to the Long Island Championship, which will be March 12th.
Yeah, that'll be at Stony Brook, and we'll have it for you live on Optimum Channel 14.
I know it took a long time, but I love the renovations they did at Island Federal Credit Union Arena.
We'll be there in about 13 hours.
Yes. Yeah, the Suffolk County Girls AA semifinals coming in tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. And noon, a doubleheader. Krasuski inbounds to Franklin. 3.5 to go, a 7-point lead for Southampton. Back it comes to Krasuski. Left side, Aleo, pump fake, back out Krasuski. 3 with 9 on the shot clock, cans it.
Dagger.
10-point advantage for Southampton. Charles forces a shot, he's fouled. And that is the 5th and final foul. Oh no, I take it back. They say Elijah Wingfield. Just 1, not 1-1.
And it's funny, I think Franklin might have for a second thought that was his foul as well, the way that he was walking back down the court upset.
And again, that's the 3rd time that Kayshawn Charles was fouled behind the arc.
First miss from the line, too.
79-71, 8-point game. 3 minutes to go. Wingfield almost turns it over. Wingfield across the lane. Snowden bobbled. Did turn it over. Wyandanch coming with numbers. Here comes Stewart to the basket. Too strong. And a foul, or did it go out of bounds? They say a foul.
Listen, you know, it's a 2-on-1 break. The defender is backpedaling, and the other attacking player is Charles. You've got to get him that ball.
And that was a doubly bad foul because of where you are in terms of the team foul. 2 shots now for Leo. Leo with a couple points will become the 5th player in double figures. And that was the recipe for success on December 20th in the 191 victory. Have 5 players in double figures for Southampton.
And that lead again back up to 10.
81-71. Here's Charles. Charles, a tough stop. Tries to set it up for Oda Lopez. And the wheels coming off a little bit for Wyandanch.
And again, it's hard to say a guy's unselfish when he scores 32. But that's how unselfish he is, just still trying to get his teammates involved when he knows he could score so well.
Stewart unabated into the paint. He can't hit on a shot. And the Southampton fans.
Yeah, they're starting to feel it.
Yeah, saying slow it down. We're inside 2.5. Elijah Wingfield to the basket. No good. Snowden is there, and he's fouled.
And again, it's boxing out, as having the right position down low. And he'll go back to the foul line.
And usually Wyandanch such a short-handed rebounding team. But they've been called for quite a few fouls in this second half.
I know it's a long ride back east, but why are we leaving?
Those might be some Wyandanch fans.
Oh, they snuck in the other side.
Yeah, it was supposed to be divided, but I think some fans on both sides sort of intermingling.
So the ref actually holding it up for a moment as fans make their way out.
.26 now for Micah Snowden. Jordan will go to the line. And that now is the 5th foul on Andre Franklin.
That's 9 team fouls.
All right.
So the book has him for 4.
Yeah.
I don't know where I may have had the misinterpretation there. Deontay Jordan with 12 points. Missed on the free throw. There's Wingfield. Wingfield stop, gives it to Krzyzewski. Southampton will use the whole shot clock, but Charles poked it away and Wingfield committed the personal.
There is no give up. There is no let up for Charles.
10 team fouls.
Though the foul almost hurts Wyandanch because they can't take a 3. They've got to take the 2 free throws. You know, they're trying to come back from down 11 with 1:37 to go.
Number 3, Chad Pike back in the game for Southampton. And number 13, Alan Evans for Wyandanch.
And we saw them against Harborfields. They extended a lead from 8 to 20 in 1:40, so they can do it. But this Southampton team defensively, they have had all the answers in the second half against the Warriors. Jordan trying to poke it away from behind on Pike. Pike to Krasuski up top. Again, Southampton going to use as much of the clock as they can. Ten on the shot clock. Krasuski was fouled.
And it's hard too because you either make the decision early to foul and extend the game out. You don't want to do it with 9 seconds left in the shot clock, and that's what happened there for Wyandanch.
Yeah, I don't know if at 9, if you start fouling so soon, you're really looking for the turnover at that point. Elijah Wingfield, who could potentially be having himself quite a senior year, played soccer. Was on a Long Island Championship soccer team. His 2 free throws here. That was Walker. Under a minute to go, and Wyandanch will foul. And now a technical on Allen Evans.
I mean, that was an easy technical to call.
He let a choice word drop right in front of the official. And the strange thing is also Barry Baker was saying 2 foul.
Yes.
I think perhaps the frustration from Evans might have been that he realized it was also his 5th foul.
Number 15, Maurice Miller checks in the game.
And what's interesting is there was a situation earlier in the game where a similar situation where words were used and the official decided not to because the player was walking away. It wasn't right at him. A completely different situation.
I'm not sure that Evans was saying it to the official or just in frustration, but either way, he was right in front of the official.
If you say it at your bench and maybe a little bit not as loud, that's not going to get called.
And Wingfield gets 2 more on the technical free throws. And some of the frustration and disappointment boiling over. And if it wasn't before, those 2 fouls may have iced the game for Southampton. Krasuski fouled.
So what a second half, huh, for Southampton.
They had 33 points at halftime. When you say 50-plus points and a half in a championship game, that is the mark of a team that knows how to close out a championship, which they have over the last several years.
Just different level, but a county title is a county title, and they're going for yet another one here.
I mean, as you talked about, Harbor Fields was kind of the talk coming into the season as Jordan tries a 3 and he backheels it. And Wyandanch going to make Southampton earn this thing. No, Harbor Fields, the defending county champs, they brought back one of the better players in Suffolk County in Alex Marriage. Wyandanch comes in semifinal, and their 3-point shooting was phenomenal. Their offensive rebounding was phenomenal. And Harbor Fields had no answer, suffering their first home loss since February of 2014. And Southampton just kept chumming along, churning along, churning along. And, I mean, they came out of the locker room to start the 3rd quarter with a different mindset. They really played a box and one with Kayshawn Charles. A tremendous job by Elijah Wingfield in the second half. And even though Charles got his points at the end of the day, him being taken out of his rhythm took the rest of the team out of their offensive game as well. There's Charles for three. Offensive board by Miller, put up and in. So the final seconds tick off the clock, and Southampton is going to win their third consecutive Suffolk County Championship, this time at the A level. Now one more foul for Wyandanch, and that's Davian Walker's fifth.
Wyandanch foul on number 35, Davian Walker. That's his fifth personal foul, 5 on Walker.
Their fourth straight championship. 3 consecutive LICs at the Class B level, and now elevating to the A and just continuing to get the job done. There's a lot of basketball to be played in Nassau County, but they could potentially face the defending state champs in Elmont in that LIC. They are the top seed.
And talk about a contrast in styles there, huh?
Somebody threw something on the court. And they're ushering some of the fans to the exit. Somebody had thrown something on the floor there. They inbound. And Wyandanch says, just hold it, let time run out. And Southampton can celebrate. Yet another Suffolk County crown.
Yeah, that's seemingly all they do in Southampton is win county championships. They won them on the B level. Now it's their first on the A level. They'll play the B champion in Santa Mauritius in the small school championship before they go on and take on whoever emerges out of Nassau County for the Long Island championship.
Well, they were paced by the sophomore Micah Snowden, 26 points in the winning effort. Some real high numbers across the board for Southampton. Elijah Wingfield and Aaron Krasuski each with 18. How about 16 for Andre Franklin off the bench? Kayshawn Charles for Wyandanch, 34 points to close out his high school career in a loss. So again, 93-78, your final score. Southampton County champs once more.
On March 12th, starting at 11 a.m., watch the best of Long Island high school basketball battle for the right to be called champions. Live on Channel 14. This doubleheader begins at 11 a.m. with the Class A Finals, followed by the Class AA Finals at 1:30 p.m. Watch the best of Long Island high school basketball live on the big screen on Optimum Channel, Channel 14.
Micah Snowden with 26 points for the sophomore. Southampton defeating Wyandanch in the Suffolk County A Championship. And Micah, for you guys, second half, you put up 29 in the third, 29 in the fourth. What turned at halftime offensively?
It was that we were down by a lot of points because Keyshawn had a lot of threes and one. So, and a lot of them coaches gave us a good talk and everything. So we came out, and we were hungry. We wanted them more on offense. So we made our play. What coach said, listen to coach, and we just scored.
It seemed like coach decided to really feature you coming out of the break. You were getting good positioning. What was the rhythm like for you in that post area in the third quarter?
The rhythm was like, I don't know. It was like I was just like I wanted the ball, so I got it. I was right in the paint, and I could score and get an and one and make my free throws. Free throws really matter when it comes down to a game like this.
And defensively, what did you guys do differently on Charles? It seemed like he still got his points, but it really disrupted their offense.
It was like a boxing one where it's 4 guys, but one person has to guard Keyshawn tight, so we can't get the ball. And he just got frustrated and couldn't make his shots.
And I know you've been around more recently for this run, but how much do you think the championship experience that this team has had allowed you guys to play the way you did in the second half?
It was a lot, because everyone on this team has champion DNA in them, so everyone knows what it takes to win a championship game like this. Come out and play hard, everything they got at the heart.
I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
91-78, Southampton wins their 4th consecutive Suffolk County Championship, this time at the A level, and they await the winner of the Nassau County Championship in the LICs. That'll do it for everybody involved in our broadcast. For our producer, Tom Schnars, for Dylan Butler, I'm Matt Shortis saying so long, and we'll catch you next time on News 12 Varsity.